Hey everybody, got a quick presentation for you about my journey through the EDRD 651 class. Start this off by saying when I first began the course, I was a little afraid of implementing technology in my classroom simply because I thought it would just create chaos, having to keep students on task constantly, and overall that it would just distract from the lesson at hand. Um, but that was until we discussed collaboration. Um, I had never really thought about technology being a bridge over the gap between maybe bringing students together, like and bringing me together with them, creating a sense of community. And I know that sounds funny, just through technology, but it's kind of interesting using something like Google Docs, having students maybe work on like a paper together, maybe split the class up in groups like I did for my unit plan, and have one group work on a certain part of a paper while another works on a different, and maybe they like all put it together, and like it could be like where each group tackles a different theme and they place it together, and then all of a sudden they have a finished product that they all created as one. And this is only possible. I mean, I guess you could do it with sheets and paper and pencils, but this is much more fluid and much more useful through the use of technology. And that brings me to my next point, and that's relevancy. Making reading, writing relevant again, making things seem like they matter and that they have a place in our world today. Something like Shakespeare, which often gets critiqued as being outdated. Um, Especially by our younger students. They don't see any use in Shakespeare, and a lot of adults now don't either. Um, and technology allows us to do something. I'm gonna exit out the Prezi real fast. Like using the comics, maybe comic strips is like a little comic that I've been messing around with earlier, where you can just add characters and backgrounds and weird bunny rabbits and stuff like that. But maybe take something like that and then couple it with something that's Shakespeare, maybe like a difficult scene, and reenact it in a way that's customizable, in a way that's more fluent to us using technology, um, creating something that is meaningful, something that only that we could create. And something like technology, which is used in our in our everyday lives, coupled with something that maybe doesn't seem as relevant, is a great way to get students inspired, um, to do more, to take the reading as something that can help them and that will help them. Getting back to the Prezi, sorry. I realized that creating relevancy and collaboration um, in my classroom, which was definitely heavily influenced by the Flipping Your Classroom textbook that we had been reading in this course. I realized that they could enhance my lessons. At first, when I was reading the Flipping Your Classroom book, I was kind of like, I kind of thought these ideas were utopian, that they didn't really have a place in the class, simply because they wouldn't be possible. But I was selling my students short, my hypothetical students short. Um, the way that he outlined everything and then placed it within a lesson in like a real life scenario made me realize that um, perhaps it isn't impossible to completely change your classroom and make it revolve around collaboration and relevancy through the use of media. Um, and that was inspiring for me. Um, I learned about apps like Padlet. Here I created kind of a character board that not only will students all be able to access, but they can add and change as well. They can customize it, make it their own, make it seem like maybe what they gained out of the novel, their ideas, their voice can finally be heard by using things like coupling the image um, with text. And these are just a few small things that I currently am obsessing over and can't wait to put in my classroom that I've learned from the course in Students Tech Artifacts. Um, but there are plenty more out there, and like all this class did was start my journey forward. It didn't only just give me all the, it didn't only just provide me with new information and new ideas of how to make my class seem more relevant. but it really inspired me to keep going, to keep to stay in tune with technology and media in my classroom, to always be enhancing. Um, and it also forced me to use things like Wix. This program did, and this has completely changed my life. I've created my own blog. I'm writing again now. It's made things more relevant for me. Um, and I can't wait to use something like Wix in my classroom where I design maybe a lesson for that day using like this a lesson this day using the website, having students maybe allowing them to make their own websites and add and then create a project through this kind of medium. I realize that there are no limitations when it comes to this. So I guess when I think about my EDRD experience, my EDRD 651 experience with media in the classroom, it started off as me being afraid of the not knowing, afraid of not knowing how my students were going to take this, how they were going to use this. Is it going to be useful? Is it going to cause chaos? And then reading the firsthand encounters through Flipping Your Classroom and Digital Age textbooks that were provided for me in the class, um, to realizing that this is something that I want to do, that I'm inspired and I'm actually excited. It's jump started me and given me a sense of rejuvenation with my lessons, and it feels like I can finally achieve the collaboration, the community, and the relevancy that I've wanted to achieve in my lessons and in my classroom. So that's definitely what I learned, and it's been a pleasure. So thank you for watching this. Um, Sorry I went over time a little bit, but I'm glad I could get all that out and share this with you guys. Thank you so much.